Javett-UP Art Centre in Pretoria is currently hosting a retrospective exhibition of Willem Boshoff's prolific works that span over the past 4 decades. Boshoff is known for his use of unconventional methods and techniques to challenge the use of language as both an instrument of cultural identity and of cultural exclusion. For more on this, we are joined by the artist himself, Willem Boshoff, as well as the curator at the Javett Art Centre, Gabi Ngcobo. A very good morning to you two. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Hello, thank you.
All right, Willem, I'm going to start with you. For the benefit of the viewer that may not be familiar with your work, just speak to us about the evolution of your art over the past 40 years.
It's a long time. The oldest work on this exhibition is also the smallest work, but it's quite a complicated little cube that unfolds into a city. Lots of facets, almost like a diamond that has lots of faces on it. But it's a complicated work made in 1976, but it developed for a little while, a few years. So that is more kind of mathematically precise. But other works can be more to do with language, with the way people express themselves, in the way they speak, and blind people in the way that they have access to knowledge through Braille. And so there is a section for blind people, there is a political section, there is a few sections that make fun with language, and some works are serious, other works are light-hearted, I guess one can say.
And speak to us, Willem, about the words woes. I mean, why was it important for you to celebrate yourself as an artist through this exhibition?
I don't like celebrating myself. I don't really take myself so seriously that I think my work is wonderful. But I do take myself seriously in the sense that the work has to be well made. The work has to pass my test of whether I think the work is worth looking at for other people. I'm very tough on myself. That is very true. So some of the works, there are 8 panels in granite that weighs about a ton. There is another 5 panels that weighs half a ton. So it can be very heavy like that. But it can also be very light and very, can make you chuckle at the strangeness of racism, the strangeness of political hegemony, the way some people think themselves more important than other people. So I try and be cruel in a nice way.
Yeah. Now, Gabi, let me also bring you in. Just take us through the process of putting together this exhibition that I understand officially opened yesterday.
Yes, the exhibition opened yesterday mid-morning. The exhibition was curated by our guest curator, Helen Smart. And I work for the Javett Art Centre as the curatorial director, helping our guest curator to make sure that she has everything she needs and having many conversations. Helen Smart has been having many conversations with Willem Boshoff as an artist for many years. Our role as the Javett-UP is to make sure also that the exhibition is in line with our values, our mission, the things that we care about, which is central also to education. Willem's work, Willem himself is an educator and is associated with different institutions of higher learning where he has been teaching and also part of exams as an external examiner. Javett-UP sits within the University of Pretoria, so we are very much interested in how we can, together with Willem and Helen, disseminate educational programs through the work of Willem Boshoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in your own personal perspective, Gabi, what's your understanding of Willem's work and what it stands for?
Well, Willem has contributed in defining the language of abstraction in South Africa, and as I've said, also education and critical thinking about different topics, which may be difficult, but also, using wit and humor and great craftsmanship. And the play with words. Sometimes we know what words mean. I think words hold power, a lot of power. And I think what's very interesting for us is how he kind of takes language and turns it upside down, make us look at language in ways that we haven't thought about before. So in that way, in that engaging and critical way, that may be, difficult for some people to face certain truths. So that is why it is important for me personally and for the Javett-UP as well.
Now, Willem, do unpack for us, if you can, the significance behind the title of this exhibition and where this fascination with words, letters and language come from. I mean, we just heard Gabi there crediting you with, indulging yourself in the language of abstraction.
The title of the exhibition is Word Woes, but it is bilingual. If you see the heading of the exhibition on the banner, Word Woes, and you are Afrikaans speaking, the title sounds as if it's telling you to word woes, go for it and be wild. Word woes is the same as woes.
Okay.
So some of the work on the exhibition are woeful, they are sad, they speak about people, the loss of lives, danger, pointless human activity. Other works, like the work Blue, speak about pain and suffering, so the woefulness of life. I'm not only funny, the word Blue took about 2-3 years just to make, but to gather the material, little snippets of paper, also took about 2-3 years. So a work can take 5 years. And then comes a big work that just has the word blue almost embroidered in little bits of paper. And the blueness of life, of the blue crane, our national bird, on the brink of extinction. That's where it started. My own blueness, because I can't sleep. My feet are very sore. I am very blue. But when I started this work, more or less, we went into the blueness of an international COVID pandemic. And so I think the work doesn't celebrate the virus. Acknowledges that we are a very vulnerable species right now.
Apologies for interrupting there, Willem. We're out of time, unfortunately. But having seen how the art has evolved over the years and has been defined over the years, both locally and internationally, are our artists given the recognition that they deserve?
At the moment, few artists are given a chance to show because of the virus.
Okay.
And I think this exhibition of mine is probably the biggest breakaway from the restrictive measures placed upon all of us. Yesterday at the opening, of course, people, it's staggered, it's controlled, but people came from far and wide, and the exhibition space is enormously suitable. It's big, and everybody said they were so relieved to be free from something to do with a virus.
Okay.
They felt that they could breathe again.
All right. Now, Gabi, just before I let you go, we're out of time, unfortunately. But when art patrons walk into the Javett-UP Art Centre and view this body of work, what are they going to see and experience? Do share those details, and as well as the details of the extensive public program that will support it.
What viewers would expect to see is or be expected to be confronted with is this twist in language. It's work that is starting from 1976, from the 70s, since I myself was an infant, and works that were completed only last week. So works that are spanning like a large space of time. And the public program will involve different types of audiences, from school kids who will create puzzles using words. So the public program is also inspired by Willem's work, but also music. There's people who are creating music in response to Willem's work, and there will be symposiums. Also symposiums about language or languages in South Africa as well. So the public program is vast, and it will stretch for the 10 months that the exhibition will be open. So the exhibition will close in January 2022. So a lot of people have a chance to see it over the next couple of months.
All right, Gabi Ngcobo and Willem Boshoff joining us via Zoom. Thanks to you two for joining us. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And joining us on Zoom is artist Willem Boshoff and curator Gabi Ngcobo, and we've been talking to them about the Words Woes exhibition that's currently on at the Javett-UP Art Centre in Pretoria.